Okay, so at this time, I'm going to do a roll call.
Roll call of the members, please.
The members. Ralph DeCicco.
Present.
David Hahesy.
Present.
Paul Mazzone.
Present.
Harvey Corin. Not present. Bryan Arciero.
Present.
Enza Goodwin.
Present.
And Michelle DeBellis.
Present.
Thank you. All right, Ralph.
Okay, the first item we have for tonight is we have an introduction of new board members, Bryan Arciero and Michelle DeBellis, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you'd like to introduce yourself, I'll start with you, Bryan. You can push the mic.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Bryan Arciero. I'm 27 years old. I was born and raised in Revere Public Schools. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2011, April 20th. It's actually coming up almost 6 years now. And I'm very happy to be on board with this commission, and I believe in it very much. Thank you.
Congratulations and welcome on board.
Thank you.
Michelle, if you'd like to say a few words.
Hi, my name is Michelle DeBellis. I've also born and raised in Revere. My son Frankie is going to be 8 years old, and he was diagnosed at the age of 3 with autism. I'm a very strong advocate for all of his needs, his voice, and I look forward to working with the community and helping others like Frankie and all members of the community with any type of disabilities.
Thank you and welcome. Okay, we'll move on to item 1 of our agenda. Actually, item 2. It's going to be a discussion of voting rules and regulations related to the membership policies and procedures for the Commission of Disabilities. For this, I'm going to ask Mr. Gravelisi, who's our moderator, to weigh in on this for us.
Sure. So this is obviously at the discretion of the commission. However, we do have a member of the commission who, at this point now, has missed 3 meetings and also has not been responsive to our requests to, get in touch and come participate. We don't have a strong desire to remove anyone from any commission. You're all basically volunteering your time, but it appears, despite our repeated attempts to reach this member, that they may not be interested in continuing, and having now missed 3 meetings over the course of 4 months, I would recommend that a vote to remove this person from the commission, Mr. Corin, is probably appropriate. I'll leave that at the discretion of the members. If that's something you want to discuss offline, or if you want to take it up now, that's up to you. But I know there are probably other people that are interested in serving on the commission. I believe we're now full, finally, now that we've gotten our new members in. But if there are other that wish to serve, we may wish to make sure that people that are serving are interested in coming to the meetings once a month. It is a time commitment, so it's not for everybody. So just wanted to put that out there for your information and review.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we could take a vote on to asking Mr. Corin if he would submit his resignation from the Revere Board of Commission on Disabilities. And do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman, before we get into that, Harvey, I believe you're talking. I served with Harvey on the Board of Appeals, and we had to have a special vote there a couple of months back for him to electronically speak on any issue that we have, and we voted that through at that time. However, he is physically unable to attend. We've been very good friends for years. I don't even know if he's still living down on where he was, okay? And I'm sure he wouldn't mind at all, but he's physically unable to get around on top of it.
Do you have a way to contact him, to call him?
You might have a better chance of it than I.
Okay, because I haven't gotten any response.
Obviously,
if he's not well, I don't want to try to, don't
as
want.
a matter of fact, the last time I heard Joe, they were trying to get him into the Leonard Silver's establishment in Chelsea.
Okay, so, with that knowledge and the fact, maybe you and I can touch base, and I would say we can maybe try to reach out, see if we can get in touch, see if he's interested in continuing. If it's a health issue and he can't continue to serve, that's okay. If he does want to try to continue, if his health issues resolve, then that could be okay too. So maybe we want to put this on the table for the next month, and you and I can try to reach out, and we can bring this back up next month. That's my recommendation. Yeah.
Then in that case, I make a motion that we table that particular item until our next regular meeting.
Anyone want to second tabling it, or anyone want to take discussion on the first motion?
I would second to table it. Let's maybe wait one more month and see.
Okay. All those in favor, aye? Okay. Item number 3 is a discussion regarding vehicles parking on sidewalks within the city of Revere. I don't know if Joe, if you have any insight. I know I've been to a few of the Traffic Commission meetings, and I know there is some talk. There are presently right now 6 streets on the city ordinances that allow sidewalk parking of 2 wheels. That I believe that is a hot topic right now. That I believe that there's talk of trying to change that for numerous reasons, notwithstanding ADA regulations. I don't know if, Joe, you have any insight on that for us from the mayor's office?
Well, my insight is basically that, so there is a law, or based on federal law, on ADA law, you can't park on the sidewalk. That's just a federal law. It's not our policy. I think you need 48 inches of clearance in order to ensure that a wheelchair can get through. The discrepancy is that there are 6 streets where in the city ordinances back in the 70s or 80s or whenever the case may be, they put it into the ordinances that you are allowed to park 2 wheels on the sidewalk. So that's the ordinance right now. And because that's what it is on paper, parking control officers cannot issue warnings or tickets. They have to go by what the ordinances are. Now, the fact that there's a discrepancy between the ordinances and federal ADA guidelines is a problem. And I think that's why some people asked that I be brought up here at this meeting, whether you wanted to make a recommendation or a suggestion on how you'd like to handle that. That's something that can be sent to the Traffic Commission. Ultimately, it is up to the Traffic Commission to change any ordinances related to parking, standing, or anything like that. So any message that you'd want to convey to the Traffic Commission, we'd be able to assist in passing that along.
Just on a note that I have been getting some calls from some residents that are disabled that are finding it difficult that there are people parking on the sidewalks. So that's one reason why I looked into it and did find that there were 6 streets that did allow it. So there is a concern not only for people with disabilities but children crossing, especially not only in the summertime but in the wintertime. It's very hard for children to walk on the sidewalks with the snow, and let alone vehicles that are parked, whether the streets do allow it or not. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that I'd like to send a letter from the Commission on Disabilities to the Traffic Commission that we'd like them to revisit the 6 streets that do allow parking on the city ordinance to conform with the ADA regulations. I don't know if anybody wants to discuss on that or second that, or anybody else want to amend it, or.
I agree.
I agree as well, so I would second that. I second that as well.
So with that being said,
I'd maybe just to open it up, if anyone else.
anybody else want to discuss anybody else want to say anything about that on the board here first?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I guess I'm the old buck up here. That ordinance, if I recall correctly, was put in because of the traffic situations that are in our neighborhoods. And the 2-on, 2-off was to open up the streetway for safety apparatus. You know, you're going to clear one area for the people, and you're going to hurt other people in the area. You know, I don't believe it's our position to create that, but it is the city's responsibility for public safety. Can you imagine Newberry Street and without the 2-on, 2-off and a fire piece trying to get up and down? You know, that's our fault in general. And we don't want to burden the people either at the same time. So we have to be.
Well, the thing that the reason why I'm saying this is that maybe have to be more of a broad and not to just allow people to park on the sidewalks. The whole traffic commission may have to revisit in making parking only on one side of those streets. Because we have been, and I believe that we're lucky to this point that the ADA hasn't come down on us for that. The city could be in liability for that. This isn't asking us to change it, it's asking us to take a look at it. The commission would like them to take a look at it for all other options. I know that the city is looking into restructuring the whole parking in the city, going towards resident parking. That may alleviate a lot of the parking issues in the city, which is a fruition that hopefully will come sooner rather than later. But I'm just concerns that I'm getting from calls from the Commission on Disabilities, from people, and I'm sure there's been calls in the past. That's just calls that I'm fielding.
Sorry, I would like to add that you can make any suggestion for any letter that you want to send, but any recommendation for any changes done by the Traffic Commission requires a full public hearing with people given the opportunity to speak for and against any changes. It has to be posted in advance with like a month's notice. And then after the public hearing, they'd have to set up another meeting after that to have the vote. So it's not an overnight process. You know, it's something that if it were to be revisited would require a thorough review by police, by planning, by residents to give their input. So that's just my 2 cents.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's basically just a recommendation just to take a look at it. It's not something that we're asking them to mandate. It's just something for them to take a look at. Like you said, there is a whole process that would have to be done on it. Because right now, what's happening is the residents are getting tagged on certain streets. Because if they're not one of those 6 streets and they are parking on it, so they are presently getting tagged. So.
We would have no real authority on this. We'd only be acting as an advisor in this case, wouldn't we? We have nothing to say about it ultimately, do we?
That's correct. The commission has an advisory role, but no enforcement role.
That's correct.
Yep.
Any other comments on this? So the motion was seconded just to send a letter to the Traffic Commission asking them to take a look at this. I just wanted to also make one more announcement that I should have made at the beginning, that Enza Goodwin is going to take on some responsibilities as our board secretary. I had asked her before the last meeting that we had gotten canceled, so she has agreed to do that for us. So I'm not sure if you want to talk with Joe and trying to draft a letter to the Traffic Commission. Okay, so we'll have a vote if we can have a vote to send a letter to the Traffic Commission with suggestions to take a look at the parking issues on the sidewalks. We have a roll call.
Okay. Mr. DeCicco?
Yes.
David Hahesy?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Bryan Arciero?
Yes.
Enza Goodwin?
Yes.
Michelle DeBellis?
Yes.
Okay, that's 6-0. The motion passes.
Okay. The fourth item on tonight's agenda, we are going to have a presentation, and please correct me if I say the name wrong. Mr. Josie Taino, how do you say the last name? Josie Hatuey. If you come up to the podium and just press the button on the microphone. He is from Family Cares Program.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for welcoming us, members of the commission, Mr. DeCicco. My name is Josie Hatuey. I represent the Adult Family Care Program. We are a program within our mother agency, the Somerville Cambridge Elder Service Agency. We are here because Revere is an area in which we serve, and to my left, we have the director of the Adult Family Care Program, Jeannie Leiden, and she's going to talk to you more about this Mass Health funded program known as the Adult Family Care Program.
Hi. Thank you for having us. And excuse my back to everyone back here. I will be kind of just looking at you once in a while. I feel bad having my back too. Well, thank you for having us. We're on a real push to really get the word out about our program. Last week we were actually at Somerville City Hall, the Council with Disabilities, just like this, and it worked out really well. We're part of Somerville Cambridge Elder Services, which is an ASAP, and it's like an access point for aging. Someone could call in and get a lot of information for elders. But we're a specialized program that we're based out of Somerville Cambridge Elder Services, but we travel kind of throughout the state. We have 255 families in the program, and we have many people, Revere, Chelsea, Winthrop area. So I don't know if people have heard of Adult Family Care Program, but AFC, it used to be called Adult Foster Care, and then about 7, 8 years ago, they changed regulations so that a family member could take care of a family member. So what it is, it's a specialized home care program. A person has to live with a person. They have to be on Mass Health. They need to have a medical diagnosis that warrants that they need assist in the home. So many of our clients, we have a level 1 and a level 2 client. So it's a person who needs assist with activities of daily living, which are bathing, dressing, ambulating, transferring, and eating. So we're fortunate. It's just such a great program, and a lot of communities, they just don't know of us. So we have situations where a caregiver takes care of a loved one. Say it may be a parent taking care of a child. It may be a child taking care of a parent, a sibling, you name it. But then we also have a process where we match people. So if you were out in the community and you saw someone living on their own and perhaps they were having difficulty living on their own, they could call us. We actually have available caregivers that are waiting for someone to take in their home. So our caregivers, what a caregiver does, they provide care to this person in the home. We have had many successful placements taking people out of nursing homes, which isn't always easy, but we've done it successfully. If I had to sum this program up in a nutshell, we're trying to keep people at home in the least restrictive environment with services in place. So we have many younger people who may need cues and supervision. That's our level 1 criteria. And many of our young people, we have people maybe dual diagnosis, bipolar disorder, I can think Asperger's, many mental health diagnoses. There may just be some medical issues. So we've seen just about everything in this program with 255 families. Our biggest need truly is our caregivers who have a background in mental health, because a lot of times people really shy away from that. So that's really our greatest need. So any questions so far? Anybody? Sounds like a nice program. Oh, it's such a, it really, really is. I mean, I've done this for 20 years, and I just so wholeheartedly believe in it. And so it's just something we're trying to get out. You know, Josie and I are traveling all the different cities just to let people know that it's a resource, it's an option. If you see a family member, if someone's on Mass Health, a lot of people are already taking care of somebody in the home setting. They've made a lot of sacrifices to be able to do this. So what they get with the adult family care program, a caregiver gets a tax-free stipend for doing this, but they have the support of a nurse and a social worker that goes out to the home every month. And the nurses do a lot of teaching and training and education around, medical diagnosis. They do a lot with medication management. We have our social workers do a lot. They may find adult health programs, help people with mass health issues. But our biggest thing, what we do is kind of acknowledge the challenges of a caregiver, and we do a lot of caregiver support. So again, it's a Mass Health funded program. You need to be 16 years or older to be in it. I think our youngest is early 20s, and our oldest right now is probably 102 maybe. So just think about it. We gave you some handouts. There's a fact sheet here. I think our names are there, Josie and I. We love talking about this program. If you want to talk to us further, please give us a call.
I do have a question. Are there other eligibility guidelines other than being on Mass Health, and what does the process for determining eligibility look like?
Yeah, Mass Health eligibility, you need to be on Mass Health Standard, Common Health, one of the SCOs, like Senior Care Options is another thing, or One Care. So people get on Mass Health different ways, but you do need to be on Mass Health. I wish you didn't. Years ago, they had a pilot program that was Medicare funded called Caring Choice, I believe it was, and I was so happy about it. We were part of this pilot program, 50 families, and it disappeared after the last person died off. And it was so sad because it was more, the average person who doesn't meet Mass Health standards would have gotten this program, so it's kind of disappointing. Any other questions? Okay. Any?
With the Healthcare Reform Act and things like that, there's money in that for funding things like helping clinicians get better trained and things like that, so that when people come home, they're working with clinicians who are much better trained to help families and patients, but particularly families, deal with the problems that come along with that. I know when I came home from the hospital after 3 months in intensive care, I came home on a gurney. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do anything, and my poor wife accepted me home with a bag full of prescription medication, no wheelchair, no nothing, no idea how to take care of me, and it was a terrible situation. So the Healthcare Reform Act is supposed to try to help people like that, and I'd be real interested in us collaborating with you and seeing what we can do to help you.
Absolutely. Even like the ASAPs, they're very involved in discharge planning these days.
Right.
And the goal is to, lessen hospitalizations and have services in place. So we do a lot of going right in the hospital, involved in discharge planning. And what's awesome about this program is we have a team of 20 people, and they're clinical nurses and they're master's level social workers. They have a great experience, and they're just a wonderful team and very, very caring. So, call us if you want any information, okay?
I will.
All right.
I'm very interested. That's
Anything
a wonderful
else?
program.
I have one question. Are you in any way associated with that medical facility that's going to be built down where the old Matola post was going to be serving the elderly?
No.
So you're in addition to what we're going to have down there?
Yeah. This program, we're based out of Somerville, but we travel all the way up to Merrimack Valley, almost to the New Hampshire border, for a good home. So, I don't...
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, say you get a disabled person that's on Medicare, and they have Mass Health as a secondary. Would you help them then?
Does it say Mass Health Standard?
Well, I don't know, I'm just asking, because I know some people that are on Medicaid, they have Mass Health as a
Some
secondary.
have both, right? Yeah. So again, we have experts at our agency. Before we do anything, we'll have a call, we'll do a referral phone call, and we check Mass Health revs, and we get all that information. And we assist people, even with a phone call. If someone's having trouble with Mass Health, we have support people at agencies that will go out and help people either sign up for Mass Health or fill out forms and all that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, so say they have Medicaid, So their primary care is their primary, but they have Mass Health as a plan B,
Secondary.
secondary.
Yeah. I believe they can.
Yes.
Yeah, so we usually see Mass Health Standard and then Medicare afterwards, but I think it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, we're kind of the ASAP, I'm just recognizing you right now. He's Mystic Valley and we're Southern Cambridge. So, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if anybody in the audience needs to get some more information, you can contact our office and we can forward you their contact information. Next item on the agenda is a presentation from Mystic Valley Elder Services. And Carol didn't give me your name, so if you want to just state your name.
I'll introduce myself.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Leary. I'm the director at Mystic Valley Elder Services, and I'll just pass out. I don't have goodies like my friend. Mr. Chairman, members, thank you. Thank you for having me here tonight. Again, my name is Dan O'Leary. I'm the director at Mystic Valley Elder Services. And this is, I guess, a happy coincidence. I didn't realize my colleagues with Somerville Cambridge Elder Service were going to be here tonight. So hopefully this is a good complementary presentation because both of our agencies work very well together. Just if I can take a minute for a little background information. Many of you here, lifelong residents of Revere, may have heard of Chelsea Revere Winthrop Elder Services. And CRW was, I'll say in the past tense, was a sister agency to Mystic Valley Elder Services. Mystic Valley Elder Services traditionally served Malden, Medford, Everett, Melrose, Stoneham, Reading, and Wakefield. And then through a lot of work between our boards of directors of Chelsea Revere Winthrop Elder Services and Mystic Valley, about 18 months ago, the boards decided it made more sense to merge together. And so now we're privileged to serve I'll call it the original 8, and then the Chelsea Revere Winthrop area. So Mystic Valley Elder Services, I'm going to say, is your aging service access point now, and it's a privilege to be here tonight. So thanks for having me. So just in a little context, if you were thinking, you know, who's Mystic Valley Elder Service and what happened to Chelsea Revere Winthrop Elder Services, it was a merger by choice, by the way. Both organizations felt together we'd be stronger and be able to provide a greater range of services from people who lived in Winthrop all the way up to North Reading. So Mystic Valley Elder Services, as Jeannie said, we're ASAPs. What that really means is it's just a term for aging service access points. And I won't speak for Somerville Cambridge, but given that Somerville Cambridge and the director and I have worked together for almost 40 years, I think we know each other's presentations well enough. And our missions are basically the same as it was with Chelsea Revere Winthrop Elder Services. Our basic mission is to help people remain as independent as possible for as long as possible. Don't mean to be trite in any way. It's as basic and as direct and as complicated as all of that. And so our agency, what we primarily do is, I'll put it in this term, we have, as Jeannie said, we have nurses and social workers on staff and a range of other folks who are there to take a phone call, to come to a meeting here, to go into the community, and basically sit down with a person and say, how can we help you live as independently as possible? Our job is to sit down with you and talk to you about what options might be in the community, whether it's adult family care, home care, transportation, health insurance counseling, drug plans, you know, people in the Part D plans, helping people fill out mass health applications in order to become eligible for adult family care, a whole range of services. We're also the agency when I'm talking to people and they kind of glaze over and what blah, 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 what's all that about? We're also the agency that does the meals. Meals on Wheels, everybody knows what Meals on Wheels are, right? So we're also the agency that provides the meals in the community, and we work with the Rossetti Senior Center folks to provide the meals at the senior center, okay? So my goal here tonight is to let you know we're here for everybody in the city of Revere. Just as Chelsea Revere was for 39 years, it's Mystic Valley Elder Services. So just sort of what Jeannie and Josie were saying, our basic mission is to help people figure out what the options are for them. What choices can you make to remain as independent as possible? Now, we're Mystic Valley Elder Services, Somerville Cambridge Elder Services. We were set up in the 1970s. We're private nonprofit corporations with what they call 501c3 charitable organizations. When we first started out, we were Elder Services. Our names are Elder Services. But happily, I think we've evolved over time. Society's changed, I think, for the better in this way, where, I'll put it in this context. There were times when somebody would call us up, and this is an exaggeration, I hope nobody at our agency would ever do this, but in effect, if you called up and you had a disability and you were 58 years old or 48 years old, we'd try to help you, but we'd basically, in effect, say to you, hang in there, call us when you're 60, and we'll have programs for you, okay? It wasn't a good thing. People began to recognize that if you're 58 years old and you need a helping hand to remain in the community, you probably need many of the same things and you're facing the same challenges if you're 85 in the community. And so at the federal level and at the state level, there's been a movement in the last 15 to 20 years where we look at folks not based solely on their age or their income, but based on what they need. And I think that's been a tremendous help for people and families here in Revere and everywhere else. So we have programs. One of them is adult family care. We don't operate the program because, frankly, Mystic Valley worked with Somerville Cambridge over the years. They run a great program. We said, we don't need to duplicate that program. If somebody here in Revere wants to enroll in the family care program and they talk to Mystic Valley, we'll make a referral over to Somerville Cambridge to the family care program. And that's kind of the relationship we have. So when somebody calls us now, there are options, and you probably know this as folks who work in the disability community, whether it's through an independent living center or Mystic Valley or Somerville Cambridge. Happily, there are programs for people living with disabilities who are under 60 years of age. One Care, family care, programs through Mystic Valley that we can provide services to people in the community, whether it's through transportation services or home care services or the like. So I'm happy. I could talk to you all night about the programs and services, whether they're at Mystic Valley or Somerville Cambridge. But I think the important takeaway for folks here, the members and folks who may be watching this on television, is make a phone call. Now, I used to just say, I've been at this for a long time too. I've aged in place, as they say. I'm actually age eligible for Mystic Valley services now, but happily I don't need them quite yet. But we used to say make a phone call. That's still a good way to go. You can make a phone call, 781-324-7705. Our main office is over in Malden, so not too far from here. But you don't need to come to Malden. We'll come to you. That's really the primary thing. Is our job is to get to where you are. For a family member who want to meet with us, we'd meet them at work. We might meet you in a coffee shop. We're going to come and meet you, the person who needs the help or the family member who's trying to be a caregiver, wherever you're at. So that's one way to do it. The other way, nowadays, you can go online, go to www.mves.org, so you can reach us through the internet. I'm happy to talk to you about services here. I can stop. I can tell you a little bit more what's going on here in Revere, whatever. I don't want to take too much time here at the meeting.
I have a couple of comments and a couple of questions. I'm not sure if you're aware that the main reason that I did basically reach out to both agencies, we got canceled last month for weather-wise, and I was in communications with him after that and wasn't sure if I was going to be able to have you come this month. But I'm actually glad that you both did come this evening. The Commission on Disabilities is just starting to be revamped now, so at the beginning stages. So we're looking for any help that we can get for our disabled residents and not only the elderly residents. I've been fielding some calls for a lot of our disabled residents that are trying to get into out of their homes possibly and get into residencies that are for the disabled. And they have problems with the applications. And as a Commission of Disabilities, we're not allowed to help them filling out applications. And, you know, I tell them, do you have a family member or an agency?
Right.
Is that something that that you're allowed to help them
Yes.
fill out? Are you not? I know, but some federal mandates don't allow certain agencies to help fill out applications and whatnot.
We want to stay within the federal rules and follow state rules and that sort of thing, but I can tell you, yes, basically, by and large, we'll help a person fill out applications.
Okay.
That's part of our role, and again, whether it's Somerville, Cambridge, part of our job is a person's not going to have the full range of choices and options if they have, for whatever reason, an inability to complete the application process. So we see that as part of our role.
Right. Like I said, since we're basically, almost all of us are new to this commission except for Mr. Mazzoni. He was on it in the past. So we're all learning this at the same time, and we're all beginning on the same playing field. So what we will do is, I've just started the website on the City of Revere, and what I will do is work with the IT department and make sure that I do have your websites linked right from them once I get that all done. So it's going to help the citizens, but any of our residents that do need your contact information, they can reach out to us and we will forward that to them. Not sure if anyone else has any questions that they'd like to ask.
Okay.
Anybody in the audience have any questions that they'd like to ask? Well,
thank you very much.
I appreciate your time, and thank you so much. And
It's good to be here.
Be good to work with both your agencies in the near future.
It's a privilege to serve the City of Revere. I won't take but one more minute. People may not realize, because everybody's scattered about the city, about 1,500 people on any given week are getting some kind of basic services, home care type services, through Mystic Valley into their homes. And I'm proud to say that today, almost 300 people are living successfully at home in the City of Revere who otherwise would be in a nursing home. Some of folks, a handful are through the family care program, other services that are going in. So when you think about where do people want to live, right? I've never had it, literally, I've been doing this for 41 years, I've never had a person ever say to me, Dan, I can't wait to go to a long-term care facility. I've had people, family members say, or loved ones say, I think maybe mom and dad need some additional help. Perfectly reasonable. But I think most people in this room would say, where do you want to live? People want to live at home. So to the extent that we can help people here in the city do that, that's our mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is just a volunteer update, just a general information. I just wanted to let you know that the people that have been reaching out to the Commission on Disabilities wanting to volunteer, I am keeping your contact information on file until we do have the need, which we will hopefully have soon. I've been trying to reach back out to you via email, so I don't want you to think that I'm not remembering who you are. I am keeping that all on my computer. As for item number 7, I'm going to turn this over to Enza, because this is also a carryover from the meeting from March that was canceled, and you can update it as needed.
Absolutely. So the first point that's mentioned, we had our polar plunge on Saturday, March 4th. It felt like one of the coldest days of the year, so it's pretty ironic that today we're meeting and it's so warm outside. There were a lot of plungers that went into the cold water of Revere Beach, including City Councilor Pat Keefe. Over $100,000 was raised, and a lot of that money that gets raised supports Special Olympics programs. And that would be my next point. We have a Special Olympics Young Athlete Program that is going into week 6. It is for young athletes ages 2 through 7. And it's a free event that Special Olympics sponsors, and it's been supported by Mayor Arrigo's office, as well as Revere Public Schools, and of course, our countless volunteers that come out week after week to work with our young athletes and help teach them new skills. So that has been an incredible program. It's our second session that we've run, and hopefully we'll be running another one again in the fall. Let's see, what else do we have here? So on Monday nights, we run a drop and stay playgroup at the Revere Rec. It runs from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's $5 a week. And myself and another mother run it, and it gives an opportunity for children with special needs to come out with their families and play with other children while moms and or dads or other family members kind of sit together and talk about different services. We do provide a snack and a drink while kids get to play, and they get to be in a safe environment, and moms can support each other. And a special thank you to the rec staff for that. What else? Oh, this is a big one. So as you may know, we're currently in April Autism Awareness Month. Jen Duggan and myself developed a calendar of 22 events, and of those 22 events, 17 of them are free for kids with special needs, specifically kids that are on the spectrum. And again, this could not have been possible without Mayor Arrigo's office, Revere Public Schools, specifically Dr. Vidala, and Revere Rec. We've received countless donations from city and state elected officials, as well as individuals who have donated gift cards, food, and drinks. It's truly been a team effort, and we really encourage people that are at home that are watching this meeting right now to maybe check out our calendar. You can find it on the Revere Recreation website, and almost every night we're offering a different event. And again, 17 of the 22 events are free or cost maybe $5. And then finally, our next SEPAC meeting is taking place April 26th at 6 p.m., and that is located at the Revere League for Special Needs. So if anyone has any questions or would like to know more about any of the programs, I'd be happy, or any one of us could explain. Yeah.
You have any questions, you can just come right up to the microphone so that. I just wanted to also add that the calendars, I know they're in a couple of schools, all the schools, you have them in the offices, so if anybody wants to see the calendar for the April programs.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Just state your name.
My name is Priscilla Verona Tunkara. I don't know your name. You're not John Powell.
I am not, no. Enza Goodwin.
Enza Goodwin.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for all the good information. I have a son who just turned 18.
Yeah.
He has special needs. He's out of district to Shore, and he's a Special Olympian. So I
Awesome.
didn't catch all of the information. I'm a little bit late.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the ages of the events
Yeah.
that he just turned 18, so I expect everything to turn off for him. I'm not sure how he's going to.
So my son is 6 years old, and he's on the spectrum. So a lot of the things that we've kind of gotten started and going here in the city are for the younger kids. What we're trying to do is now build that up so that we can reach out to the other families of older children who may have a disability. It's currently a work in progress. I'm going to be honest when I say I don't know at this point of programs besides things like Special Olympics for older young adults.
The Special Olympics, you're saying that they're part of the Revere Public School system?
No. So what I'm saying is, so Revere Public School, as well as Mayor Arrigo's office, have helped us by giving us a location to run our Young Athletes program. And the Young Athletes program is through Special Olympics, but it's specifically for kids ages 2 through 7. But we are trying.
I could also, we had a meeting with the recreation department was on it, and they do have a couple of programs in the summer for all age groups for children with disabilities. They do run a softball program that will be coming up, and I believe they will also have a soccer program that they will be, Little Ricky Foundation. helps. It's in coordination with the Little Ricky Foundation, but it's done through the rec center. And it should be coming out on their summer calendar, which I know they're in the process of creating. So there's right now 2 events, and I did mention to them, and I told them that I would be talking to Enzer that we want to try and create some activities for children of older ages with people with disabilities. So that's one of our goals.
Yeah, it seems like this transition age is, we're just entering. I try to prepare, and it's just hard to keep up with where one
ends and one,
yeah,
exactly.
Overlapping, and because of smaller kids, you can't go here because of something else. So.
I think Joe might have some insight on that too.
Sure, and one thing I'd just like to add, so when the city started up its relationship with Special Olympics again last year, the folks from Special Olympics, who very generously, enable us to put on this program for free with the help of our volunteers, they said that, once they establish roots in a community, they are able to expand their programming and offer it, a series of programs for older kids right up to young adults to compete regionally and to compete in a number of different events, as well as just to have local activities. But usually this young athlete program is kind of how they start, by building a relationship with the community. Once we show as a community that we're able to support it, that we have the volunteers in place, that we have the support of the schools and the police and the community, that would allow them to maybe put some more support into expanding programs. And I'm a little biased, but I think that we've done a great job in the first year of Special Olympics here in Revere. And I believe that Special Olympics Massachusetts will look at what we've done in this first year and help us expand our programs to more kids, to older kids, and to have more opportunities. So that's one avenue that we're looking into. There's obviously other programming that we can try to come up with as well, and open to ideas. As I always say, if Enza and Jen hadn't come to our office a year ago and said, hey, we need this, we want to do this, it might have never happened. So any ideas that you have, we encourage you to bring them to the table. We'd love to work with you and make it a reality.
Thank you. Are you speaking to me now? No.
I'm speaking to everyone, but I'm also speaking to you. Yeah.
I'm confused. This is a little scary. I don't know where the camera is, and I don't want to be on TV. But thank you.
Just pretend we're having a conversation. You're just talking to the back of my head.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit down because I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to do. But yes, I would like to help. I would like to volunteer. I have a ton of things that are not favorable for people with disabilities, like snow and sidewalks and plowing and wheelchairs and that little yellow plate of, I don't know what that is, on the corner of the sidewalks that people are plowing all, and it's iced over and you have to lift up the chair to, yeah. I've been trying to call you guys.
I got your message and we...
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm calling you back, but my number comes as a blocked number, so you
Oh, so I always turn you off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
maybe we can set up a time. Yeah.
so that's you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we can set up a time, if you want to talk to Ralph, since you already have his contact info, and I can get in on it, and we can just talk about some of the ideas you have for expanding services. That'd be great.
Special Olympics football.
That'd be great.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll follow up.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this moment. Bye.
Okay. Next item is just, item 8 is just a quick update of the NACCHO technical assistance that the Commission on Disability received. And basically what NACCHO is an acronym for National Association of County and City Health Officials that we applied for. And basically we did get the assistance, and what they are helping us do is be able to tabulate information and data so that we can formulate the disabled population in Revere. Along with them getting contact information from different government agencies, both on the state and federal level, who can help the Commission on Disabilities. So we're in the process of getting that. They have been getting that information to me, and now it's just a process of tabulating all that data. Next item that I have is communications. I know that we were going to send some letters out the last meeting. Not sure if we had gotten anything back from the state agency. So not sure from the mayor's office. Okay, we'll just wait for that for the next meeting and see if we got any of that. Next issue is late items. Whatever members have anything for late items. I know David, the co-chair, might have some items.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the Regional Commission on Disability meeting that we're going to on the 25th that the Mass Office of Disabilities is holding. There's a couple of items on that we did want to talk about. There's two meetings we'll be going to. The first one is on the 25th. One of the things we're going to talk about, I had planned on talking about, but we're going to talk about that on a later date, I guess. But the one important thing we are going to be talking about is a grant that we're going to be applying for. I guess I'm going to be working with Julie tomorrow in the mayor's office. It's a grant for municipal ADA improvement. It's a grant that's available to all municipalities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It's a grant that's available to us. It's available for up to $250,000 to improve municipal buildings. And it's going to be a really good opportunity for us. It's kind of interesting because it juxtaposes itself pretty well with something that Councilor Novoselsky was asking us about during the February meeting about handicap accessibility to the Legion building. I'd done a lot of work on that, and the VFW didn't, there's really not very much that they could do for us about that. So he's really interested in that. I talked to him about it, and we will be going to that workshop. And strangely enough, there's a workshop that shows us how to do the grant, how to help us fill out the application and things like that. I'll be going to that at 1 Ashburton Place. They'll give us sort of a grant overview on that and help us fill out the application and things like that. So I expect to be working pretty closely with Julie tomorrow on that. So that's sort of an interesting program that we'll be working on, and it'll probably dovetail really well with the work that Ralph is doing on the demographics in the city, because we're going to need all that. Everyone should know that, you know, filling out a grant application is not just plugging in numbers and writing a good narrative. It's a whole lot more than that, and they really need a whole lot of information that we're going to be trying to put together on that. We clearly won't be able to have it ready for the FY17 round of grants, but hopefully my goal is to have it all set for us for FY18. So it should be pretty good, and if we can get that in on time, naturally the first round of people that get their applications in I'll look more favorably on. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping we'll get it in on time for that, and hopefully we'll be one of the people that gets the largest grant. So that's something I'm really looking forward to working on. Hopefully we'll be successful with that. And the other thing, I'm really happy that these people are here, because with the Insurance Reform Act and things like that, I'd really like to speak to you folks about collaborating with you and doing some work, especially on mental health issues that we all face. And it's not just the mental health, the people who have mental health issues, but it's their families that also struggle so very much with that. And the mental health problems are, we all know that that's a program that's not just, it's not in trouble, it's broken, it really is. And it's the families that suffer as much as the patients, they really do. And there's a lot of work that can be done with that. And there has to be some real advocacy going on with that, with our legislatures, both local and state and federal. And I'd really like to work with you folks and see what we can do and how we can work with all the other local people around here with making things known to people like the Rotary and Chamber and things like that, and do some sort of fundraising, getting, you know, petitions and things going like that, and letting our local officials know and having them be a voice for us in the State House and even in federal government. That's really important. And see what we can do to reach out to those people, and what, if we can help you, I'd really like to do that with you.
Anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to talk about? I have I actually just received a text from Rick Franny from the Little Ricky Foundation. that he does have a couple of events planned. And basically, he has, they're working on baseball and soccer outings for the summertime from students from ages 3 to 22 years of age in September. And also, he's planning a basketball clinic this summer and a trip to the North Shore Navigators in Lynn. In July, the baseball team in Lynn for the families, parents, and the students from ages 3 to 22. And the date will be determined next month, and that will go out. As soon as he gets that to me, I'll also make everyone be aware of that. So I guess people are watching our meetings, which is a good sign.
And once you get that, let me know. We'll put it on the city calendar as well. Yep.
I have just one other, I have one late item that I just wanted to give an update on the Commission on Disabilities office that we did hear back from one of the buildings that we were looking at, the Historical Society, but they will not be able to accommodate. So we're still looking for a home. So I was in talks with the mayor's office at our cluster meeting the other day, and he has got it right up front on his agenda to help us find the location. And one other thing is I've been meeting with Ellie Baker on the Gibson Park Community Gardens, that they are going to be having some accessible beds, and she wanted some help on the application process for people that will need the accessible beds. And I reached out to a few local cities and towns. The town of Arlington has it, to see how they did their applications. So I got that information, and they're working on getting those applications out. We're hopefully going to be having 2 raised accessible garden beds at the Gibson Park. Anybody else have any other late items that they'd like to speak with on the board here before I turn it over to open forum for any residents' feedback or any questions from any of the residents? With there none, any residents like to speak? Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Rocco Falzoni, and I live at 55 Toscano Ave, Revere, and that's on the west side. And my dear friend, I finally meet Mr. DeCicco. We've been playing telephone tag. And I'm not much of a speaker, but he did tell me to come up here and present the issue to the board. So, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Chairman. I've been in this property close to 40 plus years. Mr. DeCicco, Ralph knows the area, so I was kind of really, so he knows my whole issue, what the problem was. When they built Green Tree Lane, what they done was they opened up a big mess. When the expressway bogs down, all that traffic is an access road, and they come right down Green Tree Lane, Astor Ave, and they're going by my house close to 35, 40 miles an hour. But the issue is, that's not the issue. The issue is disabilities. In front of my house, I don't know how long ago that I forget the administration at that point in time, but what they done, they cut the sidewalk, and my dear friend Joe had touched on it, and they cut the sidewalk down. I have a retaining wall, and to the end of that sidewalk, it's 21 inches. And I'm looking at people going by my house in wheelchairs, and they're out in the street. I see mothers and baby carriages out in the street. Now the cars coming down Green Tree Lane, taking the right on Toscano, it's a blind corner. And I find it amazing that there's been no one been killed yet. And all the years I've been yelling and screaming to protect my neighborhood, it's fallen on deaf ears. So this new commission, I'm sure we can resolve a lot of problems down there. And Ralph knows the area very well. He's been there for quite a while. So the 21-inch sidewalk, and with that, the area floods. It's been flooding for 35 to 40 years. And after 40 plus years of flooding, Toscano and part of Hahesy is collapsing. All that area was built on a swamp. It's all water, the water table. I have a friend of mine, Mr. Phil Barletta, He made a comment to the fact where nobody should have built down the area because it was all landfill from years ago from Boston. But who knew? Nobody knew. So there's not much I can say. I didn't want to come up here, but my dear friend Ralph has come up and present the problem. So here I am. So a 21-inch sidewalk, no one's got killed yet, and I'm sure that with this new administration, Mr. Arrigo would come to some kind of conclusions with that notion. That's my case. In behalf of people around Toscano and SDF, congratulations. Maybe we'll do something.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
And I'll see you May the 9th.
Next meeting, our next meeting will be May 9th. Joe, I don't know if you...
Well, let's discuss this. Maybe we can set up a phone call with the three of us. I'm familiar with this, but we'd have to figure out, what a workable solution would be.
Thank you for listening, and good luck. And we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Yep. It's the TV audience. Yeah.
As you know, we're all TV celebrities now, so we have to
Where
make sure.
is the camera? That's the part I don't get. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm Priscilla Verona Tunkari again. I live at 1 Beach Street, so it's 1 block away. The lights at the corner. It's good that there are many lights at the intersection. It's a very busy Broadway, Street, and Beach. Buses, several bus lines, 3 or 4. When I go with the wheelchair, pushing my son, and press for the light, then I come back. If it's my turn, it gives me the right signal. By the time I get back and get over all those things, up and down, it's over. I need more time. And also the building that I live in, there are many people with age and or disabilities that may need that consideration from the lighting as well, a countdown or something, and to sync it with each other, because, you can go across Beach, and then you go across Broadway, or whatever. It's just another one of those scary problems that seems like a comedy when you're trying to do it over and over.
So just a quick comment on that. I will have to follow up to get all the details on it, but just a few weeks ago, the Traffic Commission approved, after a public hearing, a recommendation to change and sync up a lot of the signals along Broadway. I guess, over the course of time, they had gotten a bit out of sync, and while I was unaware of this, in order to change the timing, it required the Traffic Commission to have a hearing and a review. They approved a series of tweaks that are designed to sync up the lights better, improve traffic flow, and I think it would also increase timing to cross. I will confirm that and check in, and if not, maybe we can have the conversation. But
6 to 8 seconds now, or increased?
Okay.
They'll increase it by 6 to 8 seconds, or that's?
The intersection of Fennell Street and Beach Street, the pedestrian cross will intervale concurrently with Broadway, Route 107, will be increased from a total of 14 seconds to 15 seconds, and the pedestrian clearance interval concurrent with Fennell Street to Beach Street will be increased from 14 seconds to 17 seconds.
I hope that's enough time, because.
And I know what they also did is they did a no parking.
You hold the chair, you go over and you come back and make sure it's locked, and then you try to turn around to go to get off of the sidewalk, and then go in the line.
Yeah.
You're done, it's over. I don't know how much time it takes, but I'll time it next time.
Yeah.
It'd be helpful to, just review that after the changes.
Yep.
Some streets are like hell-ish, and you can't just sit there. You have to sort of keep the chair from rolling away, and you have to do a lot of maneuvering. That's what gets to me the most.
Right.
If it were flat, maybe I could, do it easier and then just get off the sidewalk, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. They have the yellow mirror.
I go with the yellow thing.
That's ADA compliance. That's federally,
good.
yeah, it's
It's
federally.
here. and the light
Yeah.
is there, and the corner
Yeah.
is like that, so you have to go there.
That's where the light
Go there,
signalizations are.
come back, go here, but you can't stay there because it's like this. He'll be in the chair like that. Okay. Thank you very much, I'm sorry if I'm not clear enough.
Regulated load road.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm saying it. Okay.
I think it's something that we'll have to, maybe as a commission, or maybe contact Julie tomorrow to review the crossing situation after the signals get updated and see, if we have any recommendations for any further changes.
Anyone else? Okay. With that being it, I have a motion to adjourn. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday, May 9th at 6 p.m. I just want to wish everyone in our audience is of practices the religion for Easter to have a happy Easter. And have a safe one, and let's hope this weather stays like this.